everybody, it's time for Healing with the Blues. Healing with the blues, that's right, I'm healing with the blues. I've got nothing left to lose, that's why I'm healing with the blues. You know, the reason why I do Healing with the Blues is because I had a huge healing with blues music. And I know that most of the musicians I know who play blues music or people that love blues music know that it's a healer too. So when we're healing with blues music or any other music, it doesn't really matter what it is, but blues is kind of special because we're naming what our negative feelings are. We're talking about something negative that may have happened to us, and we're using that as a way to release those negative emotions. So my heading for today's talk was supposed to be, what do you do with your negative feelings? Because we're having a little glitchiness here with the camera on the computer. I'm on my phone right now, so I didn't have that heading come up. But what do you do with your negative feelings when you have those feelings, and can you have more than one feeling at a time? Ed found this meme the other day and sent it to me, and it said, you can be sad and be thankful, just like you can be full and have a piece of pie. So you can have both things being true. It really doesn't matter, you know, that you're having a sad feeling, and you can also be thankful. It's okay for you to do that, because human beings and humans being are going to have a lot of feelings. You're going to have many, many feelings. And what's important for you to remember is that as you're having all these feelings, that you can actually do something with them that helps you heal even older things that have happened in your life. So a lot of people push those feelings down and they don't allow themselves to really deal with them, because I understand it's scary and it's fearful. And what if I don't come back from those feelings? I know that people think that, because I've thought that too. What if I let this go and I can never recover from it? But let me say this, that's kind of a movie way of thinking about it. You can recover from your feelings. You really can. I think what people start to think about in this instance is that they're going to have all these negative feelings and they're going to start crying, and they're never going to stop crying. But eventually you will stop crying. And while you're crying and while you're releasing those negative feelings, there's other things that you can do. So that's why we have Healing with the Blues. That's why I do these lives every Tuesday, because I want you to know that there's help and there's hope. You can find the treasure in the tragedy. It doesn't mean that what happened was okay and that it was great, but it does mean that you don't have to stay attached to those negative feelings for the rest of your life, dragging them through every relationship that you have with your coworkers, with your love life, with your family. It's just not necessary, and you don't have to do it, because there is alternatives to doing that. And one of the alternatives is having someone help you through those feelings in a very healthy way that helps you move directly through them and helps uncover the ones that you've really been afraid to look at. Like, am I worthy? Or am I enough? Or those questions that we have about ourselves that can seem to color everything that we do. So I want to remind you that when you have someone come alongside to help you do that, and I'm available for that, that's why I'm doing this, to help you understand, when you have someone come alongside, where two or more are gathered, there I am also. And I am is a very powerful statement. It has to do with source energy. And source energy is the energy that holds us all together. It's that love energy. So if you replace everything in your life that's telling you what you should do and how you should live with the word love, it's going to be a little bit different for you. So love is patient and love is kind. And you don't have to beat yourself up over something that happened 20 years ago or even yesterday. But have more and more self-compassion, because when you fill your bucket of compassion for yourself, it overflows to everyone around you. So you can have that compassion. You can be empathetic. You can feel another person's feelings and not carry them with you for the rest of your life. It's possible. And I've been studying this for many years, over 30 years now. And I know that it's possible. I haven't had so many beautiful experiences that I could forget all the negative ones. That's not the point. But it's also the point that we can have, Thanksgiving is a strong trigger because we're supposed to be thankful. But even with, the abundance of negative and positive things, experiences, feelings that I have, I can always turn to the positive experience and find, and if I seek it, I'll find it and find what's the treasure in there, what's the silver lining in there, what can I say I've gotten from this experience that enlivens me, that adds to me, that builds me up. That's my responsibility, my ability to respond to the circumstances. And that's very light. It's not heavy. So experiencing recent loss or even in the past, Thanksgiving is going to bring all this up. Everybody's being so thankful for their family. What if you're by yourself? That doesn't feel that good. Everybody's being thankful for their wonderful spouse. What if you're alone? Being thankful for things that you don't have in your life, and it just kind of hammers the experience of you not having it home. But here's what I want to tell you. If you can find one thing or two things to be thankful for, even small things that aren't really that small, like I am really thankful that I can walk. Have I been able to walk most of my life? Yes, I have. But I'm really thankful that I can, because I see people in wheelchairs and walkers, and that could be me. But I have the use of my limbs. I have the use of my voice. I have my eyes work. These are simple things that we can be thankful for. And then it brings on a whole, what does Abraham Hicks call it? A rampage of appreciation. I'm thankful that I get to speak to you. I'm thankful for this technology that gives me access and you access, that we can be together even though we're far apart. I'm thankful for that. When it's not working right, I'm not so thankful, but like this morning, but see, here we are anyway, so it's fine. And to learn to not stress over those things that don't actually go our way, but say, okay, so this is not how it's going to go today. Let me find another way. Show me the way. And here we are. Simple, but sometimes it feels like we have all of this negativity built up, especially if we've been carrying it around for a long time. And then what happens when you have intense emotion in a very short period of time, or you have it chronically over and over again, is it becomes a pattern of physiology in your body. And that creates problems. That creates problems for people. Because what happens when you create that physiology? Well, things don't work as well as they should. In fact, that's the cause of dis-ease. When it's left alone, becomes disease. You've heard me say this before if you've watched any of these lives that I do on Tuesday morning, every Tuesday morning at 9:30 Central. What happens is you have an experience of keeping that in and not dealing with it, and it's going to come out some other way. It's going to, because it's like the toddler that's tugging on you, saying, "Mommy, mommy, 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 mommy," right? And you keep going. That's fine. Okay, I'll be with you in a minute. And then when you finally are able to give it attention, which is what I'm doing with a lot of my clients that I work with, I'm saying, okay, we're in a safe place. I'm here. You're here. We're good. All's good here. What's going to happen to us when we face those negative feelings? Yeah, you might have some upset. You might cry. You might be angry. You might have all of these feelings, but I'm here with you. So you have somebody that's holding space for you to do that, first of all, to let those feelings out. And second of all, You're letting the feelings out. And you're acknowledging them, and you're owning them, and you're honoring them. And that's all they want, just like that toddler. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be owned. I want to know that you're for me. And I want to be honored, that you are precious to me. That's all those feelings want. And that's that part of you that may have been struggling with that for a really long time. And that's okay too. You know, whatever brought you to this moment is really okay. And we get to that. It's not how we start, but it is where we end up. That you can be, I'm going to say something really radical, that you can be thankful for everything that's happened in your life that's brought you to this moment, because now you can love yourself. You can be compassionate for yourself. You can fill yourself with all the good things that there are here in creation for you. I mean, here's the world. What do you want to do? You don't have to paint yourself into a corner with your negative feelings. And Saturday, we're having a class at 10 a.m. called 5 Simple Ways to Go from Grief to Relief. And I'm going to show you how to move through these blocks that are in our field of energy. So I noticed on my sign out front on our porch, where I have the Quantum Healing International sign, that's our overarching business here at Quantum Healing International. And it says, removing interference in your field so you can have the life you want. And think about this. When people want to clear a field, they have to pick up all the big rocks. Some of them are small rocks, but they're still in the way. And that's like us. We have a field of energy that surrounds us. It's all around us. And as we look at that energy, when I'm doing an intuitive energy scan, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that field of energy. I'm looking at the specific chakras, those energy centers that our body has, that our field of energy has. And I'm looking for where these boulders are, where these stones are, where these rocks are, that are keeping you from being able to shine that light or receive it coming in. And when I see those blocks, I can name them and help you understand where that block is and what it's all about. That's what the intuitive energy scan is for. The class on Saturday, 5 Simple Ways to Go from Grief to Relief, is a wonderful class in that you're going to be acknowledged for the feelings that you're having. First of all, the what ifs, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the betrayal, the abandonment. This all happens when people die in our lives, and we don't get all of what we need to do with that relationship while they're alive. We have to deal with it after they have passed, but also all of the things that happened before that, that brought you to this moment where you're going, I need to deal with this. It's been too long. It's like a little black cloud or a little boulder, a little rock in your field, and every time you try to go in that direction, you hit that rock. Or that cloud is right there everywhere you go. And it's something that we can dissipate into unconditional love. Yeah, it's true. We can do that. We have the power to do that. We've been given this incredible power of choice, and we can choose to have assistance. We can choose to have a mentor. We can choose to have a teacher. And when we're ready for that, they appear. It happens all the time. So allow yourself to think about, what would it feel like? Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Let your body sink down into your chair or wherever you're watching this. Let gravity just bring the weight of you down toward the earth as you take another breath in and exhale. Let that weight come down toward the earth. Feel yourself anchor toward the earth. Send some roots down from root chakra, from your feet down into the earth. Just imagine that. You're sending these energetic roots down into the earth, anchoring you here, right now. And as you're anchored and you're feeling grounded, imagine that black cloud, what it looks like. If you could hold it, what would it feel like? Maybe it's jagged, maybe it's rough, maybe it's pointy, maybe you can't really hold it because it's so pointy. Maybe it's like a sea urchin with lots of spikes. Or a datura seed that is a round seed that has lots of spikes on it. But it has a beautiful flower inside. Maybe that dark cloud, that rock that's in your field, maybe it's a color, maybe it's black or gray. It could be any color. I want you to imagine that you're holding it, somehow holding it in your hands. And you're just allowing the energy of your unconditional love that you have, whatever amount that is, doesn't matter. You're just holding it there. And as you're holding it there, it starts to change. It starts to change its shape. It might have a smell too. And if you tasted it, it might have a taste. But as you're holding it, it starts to change shape. This black cloud could be representing anger that you've had toward a person in your life who did something offensive. It could be a whole bunch of people who've done something offensive to you, that offended you, that hurt you. And you're imagining this thing that you're holding in your hand. This is the representation of all of that. And it starts to soften. And it starts to become smoother. And now you can hold it between your hands. So you're holding it between your hands now, because it's gotten smaller and smoother. And you just start to move your hands over this object, under this object. You're just lightly moving your hand over it. And as you do so, it starts to become even softer. So now it's like putty. And it might have changed color too. It might change color to beautiful green color, beautiful healing green color. Or it might be purple, or orange, or periwinkle. It changes color, it changes shape. It's becoming even more soft. Now it's more like Jell-O. And now as you rub your hands together, now it becomes smaller and smaller until it just disappears. How does that feel now when you think about what that rock was? Does it feel different? What was that rock for you? And how did it change? You can put that in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you put that in the comments too. You can put #replay and then put, how did that feel when you did that? When you transmuted that energy into something that just dissolves into love, into unconditional love. Notice what your body's doing. Notice how you're feeling. And just put that in the comments. It's really powerful to put it into words. You're changing your thoughts into words that can be read by another person. That's communication. That's really beautiful. So that's why I look at every comment. And I usually put a heart there because I'm really loving that you're participating in your own healing. That's what it takes. It takes to participate in your own healing. That's why I do the classes. The next class we do will be the chakra class. And we're actually going to do that live here in Coralville on Wednesday the 14th. It'll be in the evening, and I'll tell you more about that later. But first, we need to get through Saturday's class. And Saturday's class is going to be 5 simple ways to go from grief to relief. And we're going to do probably more than 5 ways. So just come in there and get that. Yeah. Good. The rock got smaller. Great. That's wonderful. That's what we want. We want that rock to be something that you can kind of put in your pocket if you want to carry it with you, but you don't have to. You could maybe make a little mosaic with it and put all those rocks in another place. So you don't have to be carrying that stuff around with you. You can let it go. If you just came on, then I suggest that you watch the beginning of this, because we just did an exercise that helps you dissipate negative feelings. I'm excited for you to experience that, because when you let yourself do those types of guided meditations, visualizations, you're using your imagination, and this is the greatest healing tool that you have. So when I'm doing a prayer, and we'll do a prayer in a couple minutes, I always talk about how that love energy is in every cell, molecule, and atom, and the space in between. It's there. Because the atom has more space than it has stuff in it. So when you compact a human being, you get rid of all the space, we can fit on the head of a pin. So we have that ability to expand our awareness, to expand our imagination, and then we can end that with this or something better. Because God's imagination is huge. We don't even know what that is. We can't measure it. And our imagination is finite. So we can go to certain places, but there's some places we can't get to. So whenever you're asking for something from Source, or you're thinking about what you'd like, you can just end it with this or something better. This or something better. Why not? Maybe there's something even better that I haven't thought of. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. You know, I talk about this. Mother Teresa was flew in private jets. They weren't her private jets. They were somebody else's. Doesn't mean you don't get to enjoy it just because it belongs to someone else. You can enjoy things. You are allowed to enjoy others' happiness, others' success, and put it on as your own. Allow yourself to have that kind of imagination, because it'll get you out of your stuck places. Now, I just want to say one more thing about negative feelings. I'm calling them negative feelings because they don't feel good, right? So anger doesn't make you feel good unless you're getting it out, right? But holding it in, not good. Self-pity, not good. Not good to hold in there. So as you're cleaning out, you're going to notice these negative feelings, and they're not bad. You're just a human being. You're not a human doing, you're a human being. So you're being with these feelings. And they might, for moments, be feeling awful, but as you release them, you feel better. That's why I say crying is cleansing. Feel the feeling. Let it happen. You're human. You're supposed to have feelings. The fact that our culture and society doesn't recognize most feelings, and that people aren't supposed to have feelings, and that we don't put any emphasis on clearing up those feelings, that tells a lot about who we are as a culture. People are angry. People are hurt. And when we recognize that we all have that within us, and we can be kinder to people because we know that they're dealing with something, and we don't know what it is, but everybody's dealing with something. It makes us more compassionate. And we're dealing with stuff too, so have that compassion for yourself as well, not just for everybody else out there, and you get left behind. It's for you too. God's grace is for everyone. It's true. So I want you to remember that having assistance lets it be so much easier. So much easier. So when you ask for assistance, even if it's just a whisper, I really want help with this, and it shows up, don't turn it away. Let it come in. Get whatever you can from that. It's okay. You asked for assistance. It's coming to you. Say yes to it. It's okay. That's why I do the classes. I want you to have a little experience of healing. It's important for you to have that experience. Because when you have the experience of healing, you're exercising that healing muscle. And as you exercise it more and more, it becomes easier and easier. Just like anything that you do. At first, when you're practicing piano, you don't sound very good. But if you keep practicing, little by little, you'll get better and better and better. And you can practice by yourself. You can have assistance with that. You can have a mentor with that. It's all there for you. Everything is there for you. You just have to take that step forward. Because time doesn't heal all wounds. No, it doesn't. But taking a step toward healing, oh, that will get things moving. I guarantee you. It will get things moving and you'll start feeling it. Let's see. Yeah. God says, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. It's the story of the guy who's in the flood and he says, God's going to save me. And he gets up on his roof and a boat comes by and he says, no, that's okay. God's going to save me. And another boat comes by and he's like, no, I'm okay. God's going to save me. And a helicopter comes down to take him off the roof and he's like, waves it off and says, no, God's going to save me. And then he dies and he goes to heaven and he says, why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. The assistance was there for you. You can't determine what it's going to look like. But when it shows up for help, you're going to have to say yes to it if you want the help. So say yes to yourself. Say yes to having assistance with healing. Say yes to having someone come alongside and hold your hand and make it safe for you in a loving and comforting environment where you're okay. Because I don't see my clients and my patients as problems. I see them as human beings who have lots of emotions. Some of them they haven't dealt with. Some of them they buried really deep. And some of them they're not going to share, and that's okay. Wherever you're at is okay. It really is. Because you're right where you need to be. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for this time that I have with you. I'm grateful for any time I have with you because it's wonderful to be able to talk with you about healing and to help you see things that you may not have thought of before. So let's go ahead and close with a prayer, shall we? Take a nice deep breath in. Imagine that it goes all the way up through the top of your head, up into love, light, source energy, up into the center of the universe, wherever that is. And as you exhale, let the energy come back down through all layers, all levels, through that whole field of energy, whether it's got rocks in it or not. Let it come through, down through the center of your body, through all the chakras, those energy centers, down through your feet, into the core of the earth, as I say these words in the I am, for everyone listening. God is all there is. Love is all there is. Light, life, and source energy is all there is. And I recognize right here and right now that I am one with God, love, light, life, and source energy. And I'm never, ever separated from this energy. But if I feel separated, I know it's a false feeling, and all I have to do is breathe in, inspiration, inviting spirit in, and exhale gratitude. Thank you, 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 thank you. I am thanking you profusely for the fact that I get to think these thoughts, have all the feelings, and allow myself to be okay with it. I'm in acceptance of myself for having all of this. I'm in acceptance that I am more than enough. I'm in acceptance that I am worthy of all good things. And I say that it's so because I know that source is within every cell, every molecule, every atom, all the space in between, all the space surrounding me. Source is right there. Love is right there. And all I have to do is put my attention on it. Because when I put my attention on my intention, there's no tension. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful to have teachers that come alongside me, that help me, that encourage me, that show me what to do, how to be, what to think when I'm stuck in a level that I don't want to be in anymore. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful I don't have to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. I'm grateful that I've banished that from my life, that I can just have breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. I'm grateful that I have others showing me the way, people that are smarter than me, that know how to get their book out there, whatever they're doing, to help this message grow. And after so long of saying this, of knowing this, of working with this, of loving this intentional way of living, I'm so grateful. I'm still so grateful for it because I can leave the past behind. I have to drag it with me through every area of my life, wreaking havoc. I don't have to do that. I'm free. I'm free from that. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to all my guides, my guardian angels, my spirit helpers, those who've passed on before me, who are on the other side of that thin veil. And I'm grateful to those here in the physical plane, those who are giving me the most friction in my life, because I'm learning a lot from that. I'm always learning. ABL, always be learning. I'm grateful to be able to have that expansion in my life and know that I'm still safe. And I'm grateful for each one here. Everyone that I come into contact with throughout my day. I'm so grateful. I authorize my subconscious to let it be so, to dissolve any constrictions, contractions, or any chains that are binding me and keeping me from my highest good. I dissolve them into unconditional love. I say yes, 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 to all of that and more. I let it go, and I say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is. I hope you have a great day, and that you can find a couple of things to be thankful for today, because there's plenty out there. Come to the class. 5 simple ways to go from grief to relief. And I'll see you there on Saturday morning. Much love, many blessings.